The sun is shining, the grass is green, the orange and palm trees sway. There's never been such a day in Zachary, Louisiana. To be back home. What are you doing? Why are you making fucking noise? Shut the fuck up. Really? Really? Oh yeah. Thanks, Russian fucking troll hacker pieces of shit. Now suddenly I exit a video and it still makes noise. How about that? Always gotta be something going wrong. Just in time. Tell you what, little Russian hackers. Can you make a fucking volcano activate? Did you ever see a dream walking? Well, I did. Did you ever see a dream talking? Well, I did. Did you ever talk a lot about a volcano? And then put off watching a movie about a volcano for years and years, and then wake up one day after speaking about different prophetic things, very interesting, relevant, ominous things, all day, had a little nap, woke up, and my wife had on the TV Tommy Lee Jones, Volcano. Now, it's been on Hulu for quite some time. I don't know if Hulu has history. I'm going to check right quick and see. That's worth looking at, just so we can see that I was, in fact, watching Hulu earlier. I've now exited. We watched Hulu. We watched Volcano, and then we watched The Book of Eli, and then I get on YouTube. And I see that volcano that I warned that it had once put an end to the true Proto-Greek civilization. And would, in this age, put an end to the horde once and for all. And as I was watching the Book of Eli, I was talking about how people don't start listening to me. That's what the world's going to look like instead. Another recovery. Oh, and there's this thing I wanted to talk about that I just came so close to remembering. The Book of Eli. Very interesting. Let's talk about that in a second. Anyways, Merry Christmas Eve Eve. Is there a history on here? I don't think so, Tim. Nope. Well, anyways. That was worth checking. Man. So let's see, I'm sure my wife had searched for it there. We didn't have to search for the volcano movie because the Book of Eli. No? Okay. Well, I guess volcano just popped up then too. There you go, as you can see by the little white band. It's been watched. But I guess that's all the evidence I have. But I'm sure Russian hackers would know damn good and well that for some reason I was watching this movie and then that volcano became active. I'm sure they could access that information. I'm sure anybody with government level access should be able to prove that I ain't be talking shit, yo. And I just thought it was my duty as a responsible observer to point out the ominous implications. Let's see. God causes somebody to go crazy so that they warn people about things. And then a knock crack a toe causes a giant tsunami. As the messenger of the waters. Fills in the dialogue of what Tommy Lee Jones should have said. Grow a pair of legs, you dumb little bitch, run! That movie is just fucking silly. Like, it's intense, but still, like, kind of annoying at the same time. Watch Tommy Lee Jones destroy a bunch of SUVs because nobody knows when the fuck to get the hell out of there. And it was like, how long is it going to take these people to realize that's lava, you know? Anyway. That's kind of what it's like. Watching people watching Russia. How long are you going to realize? How long is it going to take for you to realize That's lava. It's like watching the Russians think that they have control over prophecy when they don't even understand it. How long is it going to take you to realize? That's lava. What is it? You play with fire, you get burned. Yeah. The Book of Eli. They don't explain much. But it's a future in which a war has happened succeeded by a near extinction of mankind and a massive religious book burning. All the Bibles in the world have been destroyed except for this one Braille copy. No text written, nothing but Braille. And this blind man, he has it all committed to memory. The Word of God. And it reminds me of Abraham and his father. Anyways, that's one part of the book I'm not hoping to repeat. That's why I put so much effort into these never-ending live streams whenever I have enough focus or my migraine headaches clear up enough. Right now I'm suffering a little bit of the eyeball swelling, but I can look at past events and see the causes of things that have happened before and see those causes playing out now in more terrifyingly efficient ways. And it's just going to lead to more bloodshed than anybody can really live with. Yet people just seem stuck on stupid. It takes a parent to see when a child is stuck on stupid, doesn't it? Like, no, I've been through that before. Really, I've done that before. I know exactly everything that you're thinking right now. Just please stop. People today don't even know how to make sense of 100 years ago. And exactly what they don't understand from 100 years ago is one of the key points of weakness they suffer today. People don't like to explain things like, why were the Germans aligned with the Ottomans? Were they? Define Germany. Ah, you're already repeating the lies of history just by picturing that on a map. Now, just let me be clear. Nazis are scum. Okay. The only swastikas I want to see are like when a cartoon runs, you know. That's a cactar. Yeah, there's a cactar from Final Fantasy. But I struggle to understand why people think it's a joke, how they can just play around with power over each other, trying to enslave each other, basically. At the cost of ecological balance. I mean, you know, it's one thing, it's like, oh, I'll get away with it unless I get caught. But when you get to the point where the entire system is going to collapse, and I don't just mean governments, I mean the actual ecological system of this planet that keeps you fuckers alive. Going down. You would think. I don't know. The evidence I've shown so far that I at least had a connection to nature, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of insight, maybe, a little bit of experience and observation. You see, me comparing the ocean to a fish tank might not make sense to somebody who's like, well, that's small and the ocean's big. But that all depends on the type of math you can do, okay? Now, I don't do math in a conventional sense any better than most, you know, honor roll kids or whatever. But I've got a sort of a gift in my family for hydrodynamics and understanding complex fluid systems. Something that a lot of men in my family have studied and gotten PhDs in and shit like that. Like Dr. Henry Morris, for instance. because most people don't know this. He's not a historian, he's a hydrologist. Well, suffice to say that the same ability that I use to go from making a small cup of coffee to making a huge pitcher of coffee for the road without any measurements but my eyeballs, okay? And it comes out exactly right every time I make coffee. I don't know why other people can't make coffee in this house, but anyway, that's kind of beside the point. Coffee. Well, I suppose people see like the good reefs and the islands that are left and like just think it's like a phase and the ocean can recover, and it's like these things happen or something. No, they don't. And the rate at which things happen is based on a math that's proportional to the population of humanity. And as far as any psycho's idea of killing everyone, that's just not going to help. The biomatter has already been converted. If you kill everyone, you're just going to add even more of a shock to the system that's already fragile right now, and it'll be dead forever. Okay? And I'm talking about the ocean. You see, an alkaline body of water can be photological or bacteriological. Okay? And I was warning about how red tides could basically suffocate anything over about 65 pounds on this planet. So you'd basically have like just dogs and midgets. Like, those would be the dominant life forms, I suppose. Just midgets and their dogs running around trying to fend off lions and shit. Oh no, lions probably wouldn't be able to make it. Pumas? Maybe pumas. Oh, did some child troll think that they didn't want to hear the rest of this? Because just as I was warning about the red tides, then all the red tides showed up everywhere. See, it's not as though I do these things after they happen. No, I talk about these things, and then immediately after, that's when they happen. Right when I give dire warning, these things are about to happen, that's when they happen. But oh, gee, sorry for trying to make a little humorous anecdote. Fucking pisses me off. Like, to roll your eyes at something because you've failed to see the proof that's just right there. Proof. Just like when the Great Flood of 2016 happened. I gave clear and precise warning. And I even mentioned all the Trump-Pence signs in the path of it that needed to go. People didn't, want to listen, I suppose, weren't allowed to listen, thanks to Russian trolls controlling YouTube. Thanks to YouTube being a place where you could basically predict Russian strategy by analyzing exactly what YouTube allows and doesn't allow. That's how much influence Russia has over YouTube. You can actually anticipate Vladimir Putin's fucking thoughts. You can anticipate their strategic objectives by the preferences of YouTube. That should not be, just in case anybody's wondering. And if you're again doubting my analytical ability, let me just explain something. Comprehending my level of intelligence for most people is like a chimpanzee trying to comprehend an honor student. Okay? My IQ was tested, scored off the charts. This woman named Leslie Fox gave me my test and told me I broke 3 records, 2 of them in engineering. Scored faster, did the puzzles, put the little puzzles together faster than anybody ever had. Okay? And I asked her what my IQ was. And she said she doesn't know yet, but it's probably gonna be classified, because they don't let people that score off the charts know their IQ for some reason. Not minors, I suppose. So I asked her if my IQ was around 175, because IQ had been a subject of much discussion in my family, because my family is a family with high IQs. And she said that would be a conservative estimate, with a little smile on her face. Like, laughing as though to indicate that it would be higher than that. Higher than 175. Little old me. Then I think about that, and I consider why people have a problem understanding things that seem plain as day to me. Like, how the corruption of the church has led to the division of American society. You know, some people analyze physics. That's the kind of shit That's the kind of shit I analyze. You know, speech patterns. Well, I do, actually. I analyze linguistic patterns. I analyze a single answer to a question that I ask someone that I meet. And I can guess almost everything about them. Okay? 175. Let's just break that down mathematically. Honors kids, your GT program, you're gifted and talented, okay? Talented people have to audition, right? But your gifted people, non-art gifted and talented people, they have to take an IQ test, and their IQs have to be at least 135. Typically, your doctors range between 138 and 140. Okay. Your, like, advanced doctors, all the way up to research scientists, 158, and like a genetic research type person might be all the way in the 160s. That's a rare person. But say your average TV reporter, $130, being generous. Okay. And if I seem a little irritated, it's because you get tired of not being listened to by stupid people. Especially if you just saw them just crashing into a fucking brick wall over and over again. And you're like, stop crashing into the brick wall. And they're just like, no, I'm smarter. You're the one that's crashing into a fucking brick wall. $130 is, let's see, 45 points higher than an orangutan. Okay? 130 plus 45 is 175. So compared to these reporters that just don't want to listen to me, compared to the YouTube monitor fucks who think that they have the right to censor me, you're a fucking orangutan. Do you deny it? You ever scratch your head while you're beating off? Yeah, fucking orangutan. Imagine how, I mean, people with IQs of 130 are sharp. People that I'm jealous of the potential for focus and productivity of someone in the whole 130s range. That's a very envious range to be in when you're someone like me who I can't get out of the way of my own fucking thoughts. Like this is what I drew tonight, you know, like. That's not even all. Like, oh god, there's like a whole other. What I finished up tonight because I was drawing it earlier today. Plans to save the world. But imagine if you got an IQ of 130, which, you know, but most of my viewers should, and, you know, that should lead you to be a quite intelligent, curious person. Okay? I'm sure you get frustrated with people who have IQs of 105, 98 all the time. Okay? Really dumb fucking people you meet, 98. Like the Trumpists who like know how to bullshit in irritating ways, those are like 105 to 115. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it there. But imagine trying to explain that a forest fire is coming to an orangutan that doesn't have a sense of smell or something like that. Like it's missing some sort of sensory organ. It just can't fucking tell. On top of not being able to understand the danger that it's in. You're just trying to communicate with it somehow. You need to go. Or better yet, the orangutan invented fire somehow. Oh shit, it's monkeys with fire. Imagine trying to teach them how to use that fire responsibly. How to convince them just not just set fire to random shit. If you do this, you won't have a forest anymore. And they just throw shit at you. You just go burn some more stuff. Well, that's exactly how I feel. I just see a bunch of monkeys who know how to start fires. And I tell them, you might not want to burn that. And they just throw shit at me. Anyway. So when I was watching the Book of Eli, I sort of gets a Gatincha of the Pacific Ocean. I was just enjoying some meditative focus with my little pigger here. And I just kind of felt myself in like a little wave contact with the ocean. And then I realized I was pointed the wrong way. And then I went like that. And I bet you that is exactly the direction of Krakatoa Island. And I just wonder, can Putin do that? Do you know anyone but me, who can, because I have in the past, this is fact, you can prove it, when questioned about whether or not their videos about lightning and their face on the clouds mean anything, when questioned about whether or not their knowledge of things means anything, I made a video in which I turned the camera around, said, do you want to know who I am? This is who I am. And lightning struck right behind my finger. And if you pause it just at that moment, you'll notice something. The entire view of the clouds looks like my face. And I do mean clearly, identifiably. Now, I don't know what it means that you're going to see me coming on the clouds, but frankly, I don't think they look that much like tits. So, Anyways. All I know is that I point a camera to the clouds and I see my fucking face up there and it shows up on video, and I have an anomalous amount of, say, algae patterns, leaves, different things that should be completely random, that form an excessive amount of faces. And I've explained these things, how fractal manifestations occur. But let me just say this. When I hear someone who says they hear the voice of God, just like I'm talking to you right now or something like that, like on the Book of Eli, you know what I think? I think that's a fucking crazy person. We do need some lithium or something like that. I don't hear voices, man. At no point in the, even in the prayer that led to the birth of a freaking human being, Nothan Cox, okay? I didn't hear anything. I don't hear the voice of God. It's an impression. It's something that you have to learn how to listen with all of your senses to the universe to understand. And that's why it's, you know, that's why I wanted to test it and see if it was a demon that was giving me a delusion. Last I checked, a demon can't make a child be born and have it named something. Or make lightning show up when you're claiming to be the Son of Man and seeking to prove it. Just saying. I mean, I want to know just as much as you do. That's why I do this shit. I would prefer not to be me more than you'd prefer me not to be me. Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, but unfortunately, I'm all we got. It really does suck. Because as long as my broadcasts just aren't allowed to be seen by, you know, people maybe even on the verge of suicide, just looking, you know, just lonely, just fucking dying inside, wanting a live stream from somebody who's fucking real, not just a moron getting drunk or something like that. Then again, I don't even see recommendations like that anymore. I don't see any sort of independent live streams anymore. None. You gotta weaken them communications. YouTube helped them do it to Ukraine, and they're helping them do it to us. But I don't want California to suffer. But I don't always get what I want. Sometimes you just might find you get what you need. I didn't want to fuck up Indonesia. I trust in God that those souls have been properly judged. And I understand that it's no man's place to do so. And no man should seek to wield the power that I am forced to. Because when it comes to what I must do here, it isn't just by the numbers. It's according to the greater potential of the future. I don't mean to sound callous, but souls can be reborn. As long as they can be reborn. When the very rebirth of souls is at stake, well, desperate times. But it is in the prophecies that men like J. Henning cannot understand. That all the truth keepers and deluders have failed to understand before him. All those prophecies either have come true or are coming true. It's just a simple matter of analytics to understand that. And from there, I would infer that the prophecies that precede will also come true. And at the point where that meteor crashes down just off the coast of Siberia, do the math. It will consume the entire nation in 1 hour. That's called physics. Oh yeah, it's prophecy, just the ramblings of some old crazy guy they locked up in an island prison. Oh no, he was a young guy. He was that guy's son or his brother's son or his cousin's uncle's former roommate's dog's owner's pet's best friend. Rented the car before him, had the same mechanic. Met him on Tuesday in the line at McDonald's. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy. John the cashier. Yeah, John the cashier. Yeah. I've never even had so much as a dream in which God was speaking to me. Not in a voice, not hearing. If you ever think that you're having a dream like that, you're either being deceived or you have a neurological imbalance. But then these things aren't mutually exclusive. What's interesting that most people don't realize is that reverberative demons, or let's just say biologically resonant but non-naturally productive bad habits, those lazinesses, things like that, can actually over time form neurological imbalances. Documented but under promoted science, I suppose. It's like a decent neuropsychologist would say, well, no shit, Sherlock, and I would say, well, why haven't you told everyone? It's kind of a big thing, you know. But then people can't even decide whether or not milk is good for you. Like, come on. And me, I'm trying to point out advanced analytical fucking ecological geopolitical and prophetic consensus. Like, when these three things line up, we have a fucking problem, you know? To people that think Anubis is a jackal and Magdalena is some sort of town with a bunch of whorehouses in it. The CIA greeted the Taliban. David Duchovny's from Canada. Orangutans. Throw your shit. Just go ahead. Throw shit at me. Just go ahead. I don't want to listen. Fire's pretty. I like fire. You know those trees you're burning? That's kind of your house, dude. I don't live in that tree. I live in a different tree. That fire's pretty. What happens when your tree runs out of bananas, motherfucker? That's a different kind of tree. Oh. How are those trees doing? Oh shit, they're on fire too. Fire's pretty though. Smells like cooked bananas. That's what this is like. That's exactly what this is like. Shut up. Fire's pretty. If you people invested half of what you put into fucking with each other into actually fixing this place, your faces hurt. Your faces would hurt. Your faces would all hurt. As if you were on some sort of dream date. Just every day. Just every day you'd just be smiling so fucking much. You'd just be walking around like this. And by like 3 p.m. you're just like, ow! I can't smile anymore. Things are too good. I need to go watch a horror film. You would have to have like horror film break at 3 p.m. every day. Just because shit would be so wonderful. If people would just spend half of the money they spend on fucking with each other. And putting it to, say, making sure poo doesn't go to waste. Yeah, it's not just me you're throwing poo on. You're just flinging poo everywhere. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you, is you're just pooing on everything. Just a bunch of shit monsters running around. It's like Golgotha has won, okay? Did I mention the whole thing about prophecies you don't understand? Shit demon. Cyanobacteria. Pollution. The oceans are fucking dying. The sky is dying. You'll be next if some strange power of coincidence doesn't intervene. separate the wheat from the chaff. And woe unto the whore of Babylon, for in 1 hour she will be laid waste. That's gonna make a hell of a YouTube video. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I'm even trying to prepare for that. Because if people think they're just going to survive in normal houses, there's going to be some massive tsunamis, and the whole world isn't going to flood, but you bet your ass some major parts of it will. And should cause a pretty bad series of storms as well. So Eli in the movie, it's like the cornerstone. So you've been told the wrong thing about it. The cornerstone isn't an important part of building the building. The cornerstone is the evidence that's left after it's been destroyed. Okay? What makes me the cornerstone is that I'm back trying to tell you how civilizations were destroyed in the past, so that you can avoid being destroyed right now. There's no other meaning to that. And I don't mean like as in a claim that there's no other meaning to that. I'm not trying to school you in that statement. I'm saying that any other possible interpretation is going to lack meaning by comparison. It's just religious nonsense. God doesn't want you to be religious. He wants you to take care of each other and be appreciative of the gifts you've been given. That includes, not fucking things up. That's all. But anyways, I'm gonna go be alone with my headache for a while. Looks like Dingo's waking up, so before he starts licking his balls on the camera. Oh no, he's tucking his head back into sleep more. That's an interesting position. Okay, I hope that's comfortable, Dingo. But anyways, I am gonna go since it doesn't look like anybody's online. Well, at least not that is allowed to see this live stream. So to the families of the 735 people who are going to kill themselves tonight. Dingo? Not now. No, it's probably not an accurate number. 738. I wonder how many of them would still be alive tomorrow if YouTube was a place where anybody could go and find somebody they had something in common with, somebody that would listen, or just a real person. It doesn't seem like a fucking waste of air. You know, because sometimes that's what tips people over the edge, just seeing the foolish nonsense that people spend their time with when there's a world falling apart out there. Just being able to see someone who gives a shit. Not me. The hundred of thousands, you know, maybe probably 20,000 other people streaming right now. Probably a couple of hundred of them consciously hoping to be there for somebody. Think, lay down. Come on. Go on, lay down. Dingo, cut it out. He's smarter than most people running the fucking governments. He listened. Anyways. There's better ways of doing just about everything people are doing today. And, self-driving cars are not gonna fix anything. Okay? Public effort to enhance community structure so people can focus on what matters. Okay. That's what needs to be done. And that's exactly what Russia uses Google to try to prevent. It's there to take the place of that structure so it can disallow it. And it does so with ruthless efficiency. So, good night, nobody. Merry Christmas Eve Eve. Peace.